spread out their peacocks' plumes and erect their crests, while this impudent flatterer equals a man of nothing to the gods, and proposes him as an absolute pattern of all virtue that's wholly a stranger to it, sets out a pitiful jay in others' feathers, washes the blackamoor white, and lastly swells a gnat to an elephant. In short, I will follow that old proverb that says, "He may lawfully praise himself that lives far from neighbours." Though, by the way, I cannot but wonder at the ingratitude, shall I say, or negligence of men who, notwithstanding they honour me in the first place, and are willing enough to confess my bounty, yet not one of them for these so many ages has there been who in some thankful oration has set out the praises of folly; when yet there has not wanted them whose elaborate endeavours have extolled tyrants, agues, flies, boldness, and such other pests of nature, to their own loss of both time and sleep. And now you shall hear from me a plain extemporary speech, but so much the truer; nor would I have you think it like the rest of orators, made for the ostentation of wit. For these, as you know, when they have been beating their heads some 30 years about an oration, and at last perhaps produce somewhat that was never their own, shall yet swear they compose it in 3 days, and that too for diversion; whereas I ever liked it best to speak whatever came first out. But let none of you expect from me that after the manner of rhetoricians I should go about to define what I am, much less use any division. For I hold it equally unlucky to circumscribe her whose deity is universal, or make the least division in that worship about which everything is so generally agreed. Or to what purpose, think you, should I describe myself when I am here present before you, and you behold me speaking? For I am, as you see, that true and only giver of wealth whom the Greeks call Moriae, the Latins Stultitiae, and our plain English Folly. Or what need was there to have said so much, as if my very looks were not sufficient to inform you who I am? Or as if any man, mistaking me for wisdom, could not at first sight convince himself by my face the true index of my mind? I am no counterfeit, nor do I carry one thing in my looks and another in my breast. No, I am in every respect so like myself that neither can they dissemble me who arrogate to themselves the appearance and title of wise men and walk like asses in scarlet hoods, though after all their hypocrisy Midas' ears will discover their master. A most ungrateful generation of men that, when they are wholly given up to my party, are yet publicly ashamed of the name, as taking it for a reproach; for which cause, since in truth they are morotatoi, fools, and yet would appear to the world to be wise men and Thales, will even call them morosophus, wise fools. Nor will it be amiss also to imitate the rhetoricians of our times, who think themselves in a manner gods if like horse-leeches they can but appear to be double-tongued, and believe they have done a mighty act if in their Latin orations they can but shuffle in some ends of Greek like mosaic work, though altogether by head and shoulders and less to the purpose. And if they want hard words they run over some worm-eaten manuscript and pick out half a dozen of the most old and obsolete to confound their reader, believing no doubt that they that understand their meaning will like it the better, and they that do not will admire it the more by how much the less they understand it. Nor is this way of ours of admiring what seems most foreign without its particular grace. For if there happen to be any more ambitious than others, they may give their applause with a smile, and, like the ass, shake their ears, that they may be thought to understand more than the rest of their neighbours. But to come to the purpose, I have given you my name, but what epithet shall I add? What but that of the most foolish? For by what more proper name can so great a goddess as Folly be known to her disciples? And because it is not alike known to all from what stock I am sprung, with the Muses' good leave I'll do my endeavour to satisfy you. But yet neither the first Chaos, Orcus, Saturn, or Japhet, nor any of those threadbare musty gods were my father, but Plutus, Riches, that only he, that is, in spite of Hesiod, Homer, nay, and Jupiter himself, divum pater atque hominum rex, the father of gods and men, at whose single back, as heretofore, so at present, all things sacred and profane are turned topsy-turvy; according to whose pleasure war, peace, empire, councils, judgment,